I'm trying to bring my net worth from negative six figures to positive six figures before I turn 30 in February of 2029. And I'm bringing you all along on my journey, and part of that is sharing my monthly income and expenses. So let's go through February and I will update you on how we did this month. Starting with income, every single month from my job as an occupational therapist, I expect to make about $39.20, so just under $4,000. But I do work in acute healthcare, which means in a hospital setting, which is running 24/7, 365. So that does mean working the occasional holiday, and we are compensated for that. Because my money is offset a month, all the money that I made in January is money I'm spending in February. So for February, my income from my full-time job was inflated thanks to the New Year's Day holiday and MLK. So I brought home a total of $4,161.84 just from the hospital. I also had my federal tax return hit, and this was a lot bigger than it should be because I only worked half the year. My total income for the year was a lot lower than it should have been. So my tax return from the federal government was $2,850. And then my birthday is also in February. So I did have an influx of cash gifts surrounding birthday themed items, bringing my total monthly income to $7,011.84. This extra income was extremely welcome because at the beginning of the month, my car decided that it wanted to have a major repair done. And I think this was because Colorado had a big cold snap at the end of January. And this ended up being $2,100 of work. Some of it was preemptive work. If you're a car person, my oil pump was leaking, so we just went ahead and changed the timing belt too because it's almost due. So $2,100 saved me money in the long run and got a repair done, and she's all buttoned up now. But this type of stuff is why I save regularly for auto maintenance in addition to having an emergency fund, because otherwise I would have had to go into more debt for this kind of car repair. But had I not had this tax money come in, I would have been able to afford this repair. Since I did have this extra $2,400 of income, I kind of considered it net negative and used $2,100 from that income to pay for the car repair. Just considered it $300 or $400 of income, whatever the math was, to allocate like I do with excess money. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's go through the rest of my spending. So my ski goggles are 7 years old and were scratched beyond repair. It got to the point where I could not see while skiing. So instead of buying new goggles, my lenses are interchangeable. And one of the perks of interchangeable lenses is you can buy just new lenses. So I just bought lenses for $50. And then I also spent $21 on a Valentine's Day gift for Jake. And I spent $6 on plain Wi-Fi to get some work done. I did buy a treadmill desk attachment for our 30-year-old treadmill because I want to see if I can walk and edit a little bit. And then I also needed to refresh my makeup that is 3 years old. So I spent $67.62 at Target. So this month, with the additional income, I had $250 to spend on personal guilt-free spending, and I spent $251.23. So that means I won't be rolling any money over to the next month, but I also didn't really overspend this month, and that's okay. The one thing I do like about my new budget template setup is that if I have leftover money that was allocated for an expense, I can just roll it over to the next month. That way, if I do have fluctuations in my spending, it all just kind of evens out in the long run, but I can keep track of that easier with this template, and I like that a lot. My fixed expenses don't change, thus the name. So $1,007.50 was spent in that category, just like always. Okay, let's talk savings now. As you know, my emergency fund is fully funded, and I got lucky that I didn't have to spend out of that this month and was just kind of net zero. So I have $10,245 spent there. Any interest that accrues in that account, I just leave. It can be more emergency funds. I save monthly for large expenses that I expect to have throughout the year. These are my sinking funds because every single month it doesn't add up to much, but if I had one large expense hit in the month, it does hurt. So I just build up a bucket slowly throughout the year to have to spend as I wish. This is one area that I also wanted to have a very clear picture of how much I contribute every single month, as well as how large that bucket is. So I updated this with my new template a lot, and I like it. So if you have seen these videos and you're like, Sandra, those screen grabs look a little bit different than what your old template looked like, I recently switched to this new one that I created, and I'm a big fan. If you want to try it out, it is linked down below with a discount code for you. So let's go into specific savings categories. I save every single month for car maintenance. So far I have $325 saved, and that'll comfortably cover an oil change and swapping my tires from winter tires to summer tires if I don't contribute anything else. So that's a great bucket to have. I have $63 saved for gifts. I just spent this bucket down for Christmas, so it's good to see that being built back up. I have $505 saved for travel and $204 saved for next year's ski pass. So in total, I have $11,357 in my savings. As you know, I'm also working on growing my investments because I can pay off my debt to hit zero net worth, but in order to hit that positive 100K net worth, my biggest plan is to invest. So currently I am investing up to my my 401k match pre-tax, and then I am maxing out my Roth IRA, which is $583 per month. Once I have my highest interest loan paid off, I might reevaluate this a little bit, but this is what we're doing right now. Speaking of debt, how is that going? I started with 127k in July of 2024, and currently my balance is 111k. This is down from $113,500 at the end of January. So this month I put $3,250 to my student loans thanks to the extra income that I brought in. So when I get extra income, it automatically goes 75% to my loans, 20% to investments, and 5% to any personal goals that I have. So because of all the extra money that I brought in, I was able to make a pretty large extra payment to my loans, even with that $2,100 car payment. In fact, this payment is more than double my minimum monthly payment of $1,500. So that just shows the power of how having just a set plan for extra income can really impact even one month. It does feel really good to make some aggressive payments to my loan because that's just paying off principal, which is reducing my monthly interest, which is making me able to pay off my principal faster. I'm feeling very excited about hitting the 5-figure mark in just a few months here. Last but not least, YouTube. More of a slowdown this month. As you all know, I had one video kind of run away and make a lot of money, and now we're getting back down to what is probably going to be my normal, but this is only my second paycheck. I was also definitely struggling to keep up with even one post a week. So I only posted 4 long form videos and 1 short form video in January, and January earnings are paid out in February. So I earned $104 and I spent $17.99 on Epidemic Sounds. So still net positive in my expenses, but also definitely lower from last month. Looking ahead to March, I have some very specific goals that I want to accomplish, and I'm very excited about what March is going to look like. It's definitely a busy month. We have some visitors and some traveling, so I'm expecting my expenses to be a little higher. So I'm anticipating that I won't be spending as much on me personally, but rather on those experiences. And that's okay. Every single month kind of ebbs and flows as I work to especially build my foundation. I haven't even been working a year yet, so I need to just have grace with myself and not feel like every month needs to be this major shift towards a goal. I think after coming off of a month like February where I did have a huge influx of income, which allowed me to make huge progress towards my goals, it's hard to be like, oh, March is gonna be normal, but it will be normal, and that is a good thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to a lot of the videos I have coming in March. I think they add a lot of value. A lot of you have asked me very specific questions that I can only answer so deeply in the comments. So I'm planning to make some videos to address those things, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's a wrap on February. I am looking forward to March. Thanks for watching, and tag along for more. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so you should find out.